they highlight Senate postpones passage of 2023 budget. Troops neutralize over 150 terrorists in Northeast. UN adopts resolution on Myanmar. A warm welcome to the news. I am Didieno. The Senate has postponed the passage of the 2023 budget until Wednesday, December 28, 2022. The lawmakers also postponed the passage during plenary today. He explained that the Senate is postponing the budget passage during plenary today. He explained that the Senate is postponing the budget passage because of some challenges in receiving the report on the 2023 budget from the Appropriations Committee. The House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the activities of illegal financial technology companies and mobile application lenders who threaten debtors for failing to repay loans. At the plenary today, the House mandated its Committee on Banking and Currency, Financial Crimes and Telecommunications to investigate the alleged sharp practices and abuses by fintech and online mobile digital loan apps, and as well as companies in Nigeria, and a report within 4 weeks. The resolution was based on the unanimous adoption of a motion of urgent titled Urgent Need to Investigate Sharp Practices and Unregulated Online Fintech Lending Companies and Abuse of Mobile Digital Loan Apps in Nigeria. Santome decried the proliferation of online loan apps across Nigeria by some fraudulent and unscrupulous profiteers, affecting many low-income Nigerians who are coerced to borrow and get trapped in the web of sham loans. And individuals and companies usually use these platforms to swindle low-income earners. The Central Bank of Nigeria says the new cash withdrawal limits policy was approved without political consideration. This is according to the Apex Bank's Deputy Governor, Aisha Ahmed, who spoke during an interaction with the House of Representatives in Abuja today. While responding to a question on why the move is coming a few months before the general elections, she explained that the CBN is an independent body that takes well-thought-out decisions. The CBN chief, who was representing the Apex Bank's governor, Godwin Emefiele, said the 94% of all cash transactions in the country fall within the initial 100,000 naira, while 82% of corporate transactions are below the 5 million naira threshold. The new policy will limit cost associated with processing and moving cash, as well as address terrorism financing, she added. Still on the local scene, the Armed Forces of Nigeria says it will not relent on its effort to ensure that peace is restored in various geopolitical zones of the country. Director, Defense Media Operations Major General Musa Damadami stated this while briefing journalists on operational activities of the armed forces across the country between the period of December 1 to December 22, 2022. Major General Musa Damadami said the military troops in the north-central zone of the country have sustained crackdown on the nefarious activities of terrorists and other criminal elements in their general area of operation. Troops, he said, in conjunction with other security agencies, raided Karamajiji and Lugbe general areas in Abuja Municipal Area Council of the FCT to rid the general area of the menace of criminal elements. And he also disclosed that troops during the operations intercepted a total of 429 motorcycles.
Military period, but at any point in time, at least there should be safety. The safety of each and every citizen of this country is guaranteed. We are not going to relent on our efforts. Like I said earlier on, as people are going on break, the military is not going on break. Neither are other members of the security agencies going on break. They will continue to do their bit in ensuring that this country is safe.
And meanwhile, the Armed Forces of Nigeria has promised to provide security for lives and property during and after the Yuletide. Defense Minister Information Major General Jimmy Akpo noted that the military and other security agencies are working towards ensuring the safety of all citizens during and after Christmas.
8th and 15th December 2022, troops of Operation Safe Haven raided the residence of a notorious gun runner who was on the wanted list of troops at Rampam village in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. During the operation, troops recovered 2 fabricated pistols and 1 fabricated rifle. Troops also carried out covert operation on the 9th December 2022 and arrested 2 notorious kidnappers at Gora and Mejuju village in Jos East local government area of Plateau State.
And away from that, Nigeria's anti-narcotic agency, the Nigeria Drug Laws Enforcement Agency, has received a grant of 500 million naira from BOA groups to fund some selected projects of the agency for better performance. The chairman of Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa Initiative, Abdul Samad Rabiu, made the presentation of the grant letter at the agency's headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. He explained that the grant given to the NDLEA came under the ASR Africa Security Summit and the Sector Support Scheme, an intervention initiative that is targeted at sustainability, impactful interventions in security and social development in Africa. And now to stories from other parts of the world. Ukraine is alive and kicking and will never surrender, President Volodymyr Zelensky has said. In a defiant address to U.S. lawmakers on his first foreign trip since Russia's invasion, a U.S. military aid to Ukraine was not charity, but an investment in security for the future, Mr. Zelensky said. His appeal comes amid U.S. support and signs that U.S. support is likely to face greater scrutiny by Republican lawmakers in Congress. But President Joe Biden vowed to stick by Ukraine for as long as it takes. Mr. Biden pledged a new $2 billion aid package and promised another $45 billion in good time.
Today, each of you, ladies and gentlemen, can assist in the implementation to ensure that America's leadership remains solid, bicameral, and bipartisan. Thank you. It's a great honor for me to be at the U.S. Congress and speak to you and all Americans. Against all odds and doom and gloom scenarios, Ukraine didn't fall. Ukraine is alive and kicking. We defeated Russia in the battle for minds of the world. We have no fear, nor should anyone in the world have it. Ukraine gained this victory, and it gives us courage, which inspires the entire world.
And toward the news, the United Nations Security Council called for Myanmar's junta to release Aung San Suu Kyi on Wednesday as it adopted its first ever resolution on the situation in the Tamil-reading Southeast Asian country. The 15-member council has been split on Myanmar for decades and was previously only able to agree on format statements about the country, which has been under military rule since February 2021. Suu Kyi, who is 77, has been a prisoner since the army toppled her government almost 2 years ago and violently cracked down on dissent. Wednesday's resolution urges the junta to immediately release all arbitrarily detained prisoners, including Suu Kyi and ex-president Win Myint.
Resolution to be implemented in full. We've also sent a clear message to the people of Myanmar that we seek progress in line with their rights, their wishes and their interests.
Meanwhile, India, China and Russia abstained in the United Nations Security Council on a draft resolution that demanded an immediate end to violence and the release of all arbitrarily detained prisoners, including Aung San Suu Kyi, an ex-president who emerged. The 15-member council has been split on Myanmar for decades and was previously unable to agree on formal statements about the country, which has been under military rule since the beginning.
Meeting, China still has concerns about the draft resolution that was just put to the vote in terms of the form. We believe that it would be more appropriate for the Council to adopt a presidential statement under the current circumstances. In terms of the content, although it has been amended, the tone still lacks balance. Therefore, China had to abstain from voting. I would like to explain China's position as follows. First, there is no quick fix to the Myanmar issue, let alone an external solution. Whether or not it can be properly resolved in the end depends fundamentally and only on Myanmar itself.
In also stories on the world of sports, the Super Eagles have ended the year as Africa's fifth best team after a disappointing 2022 that saw them fail to make the World Cup. In the November 2022 FIFA ranking released on Thursday, the three-time African champions are now 35th in the global pecking order. Morocco are the number one team in Africa and 11th in the world. Senegal at 19th, Tunisia at 30th, and Cameroon at 33rd complete the continent's first five. Overall, Brazil retained the top spot despite crashing out of the World Cup in the quarterfinals. They are followed by Argentina, who claimed their third world title in Qatar on Sunday. Runners-up France are back in third, while Belgium and France complete the top five position. Sports, Lionel Messi will celebrate his World Cup triumph by agreeing to stay at Paris Saint-Germain, local media claimed, as he attempts to steer the French side to an elusive Champions League title. The 35-year-old, who led Argentina to victory in the World Cup final against France in Qatar last weekend, will pen a one-season extension to his current deal in the French capital, which expires in the summer. Le Parisien and RMC Sports reported that Nasser Al-Khelaifi and other top club officials when he returns from his World Cup break. Messi joined PSG in 2021 on a two-season deal with an option for another year after having spent his entire professional career with Barcelona. And that's about the size of the news tonight. But before we go, a recap of the highlights. The Senate has postponed passage of the 2023 budget. Nigerian troops have neutralized over 150 terrorists in Northeast. We told you on the foreign scene that the UN has adopted a resolution on Myanmar. And that's